Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another pre-market watch list. Oop, got to turn that volume down before we get an echo. There we go. So welcome back to another pre-market watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys again for tuning in. As always, today is going to be a very exciting day. So we're going to talk about just some basic things. We're going to talk about Netflix, we're going to talk about Cron, and we're going to talk about Tesla. And then we will also talk about the stock TLRY and why it's a extremely horrible time to buy an extremely horrible investment. Okay. So we'll wait a little bit for some more people to get in. I'll give you a little update on myself. So as many of you guys know, many of you know, I lost about $5,000. Was that Monday? Oh, I think it was, yeah, $5,000 Monday. I didn't really actively trade yesterday, so that's why there wasn't a video to upload. As I stated, I wasn't really going to trade yesterday because on Monday I had opened up swing positions and option positions on Netflix, so I was basically just managing that position yesterday. So the $5,000 I lost Monday, I have already made back and some on Netflix. Today, I anticipate Netflix is going to go through a very big boom. And so we're going to fully recover losses from Monday and then even add to the gains. So I think, hard to judge just yet, but by the end of the day here, I think we'll probably be up in total on the Netflix positions 10 to possibly 15,000. So we're going to fully recoup the losses from Monday and then some. So again, we're back on the horse, baby. All right, guys. The whole video will not be about TLRY, but we will spend a good amount of time. What I'm going to do is just briefly walk you through Netflix. I'm going to walk you through, Tesla, and then I'm going to walk you through why Cron might be a good idea today, and then we'll talk about TLRY and why it's horrible. Okay, so. And then I'm also going to do another video talking about TLRY and why it's a bubble. All right, so let's get into the next screen. All right, here you guys go. You can write these down. There's my watch list at the top. You can write all these other tickers down. And on that note, I'm actually going to be right back. So we'll wait for some more people to get in. You guys can take the time to kind of go down this list and write these in. I'm going to go grab myself a cup of coffee. I'll be right back. All right, fantastic. Here we are. Nice, yeah, nice, good stuff. Westland, Michigan, nice. All right, here we go. All right, so let's get into the next screen. You guys should have had enough time to hopefully write those down. If not, we'll pop back to it towards the end. All right, so here we are. So first we'll talk about Netflix because this is the one I'm trading. So as you guys can see here with my current open position of 125 shares, I am currently up altogether on it, $1,977, basically $2,000, haven't covered anything up. If we go into here on the trade tab, down here, you'll see that I'm currently up $3,000 on my calls. So altogether we're up about $5,000, so we've recouped all those losses from Monday. When the market opens, this right here, this option call is going to jump probably another $1,000 or so since we gapped up overnight a little bit and then into pre-market. So I should be looking at a very strong day here on Netflix. Next thing here. So yeah, so you can see Netflix. What is no. I don't know what that just did, but hopefully it doesn't restart. All right, guys, so as you can see, Netflix is kind of gapping up this morning, right? So if I do 100, and this is exactly what I was explaining the other day, right? We do a 180-day chart. Remember how I was saying to watch Netflix as it's channeling, and it was going to go like this and then break to the upside. So right now, today, it will most likely break over 372 and over 376. It's going to squeeze out any of the short sellers that have been in from 376 and 372, 373, 374 area, and we're probably going to go straight to 380. Chances are we're going to probably even break 380, and I think we might see 385 to 390 today on Netflix. So I would strongly encourage traders to watch Netflix long today. It's extremely bullish. Now it does actually, there is the chance that this doesn't actually pop and it kind of breaks back down a little bit and then maybe runs tomorrow. But I don't really see that happening. I think Netflix is just going to go a straight push today to the upside. Again, if you look at like a 5-day chart, you can see it's breaking over and getting close to these resistance levels. But again, it's very strong. Back to a 20-day 1-hour chart. Again, you can see it pop, failed, bounce super hard, coming right up to that level. So if there's enough buyers today, we're going to push this thing straight up. And that's what I anticipate happening with Netflix. So I'm just going to say keep Netflix on watch for a long bias trade today. Okay. Yes, next thing here is Tesla. So as many of you know, Tesla took like an extremely big drop yesterday because of news that broke that the DOJ is investigating them. That's the Department of Justice, and the DOJ is investigating them. So bad news again for Tesla. If you look in the news, there's also more news about Tesla and how it's bad and et cetera. It's just, again, Tesla's just filled with bad news, guys. And this is, oh, let me turn this on here. This is exactly what I explained to a lot of people. Remember back when Tesla had the whole thing about Elon smoking weed and then their stock dropped even more. And then I remember, I said, there's probably going to be a bounce and it's going to go to 300, and then from there it's going to probably fade out and etc. until next earnings. Well, this is exactly what's happening. Now, I could never have foreseen that the DOJ was going to investigate Tesla, so yeah, I didn't see this massive drop coming. But again, as I told people, right, Tesla is not, it's not a strong investment. Okay, everyone's like, oh, it's a great company to invest in. No, it's not, because it's consistently in the news. There's consistently negative news. There's consistently catalysts that can affect the stock in any direction at any given time. Okay, the company can't show profitability, so basically you're investing into a company that, for one, cannot show profitability yet. The owner and CEO consistently is in the news, and there's always negative news on Tesla. It is anything but a safe investment, and that's exactly what I've been saying. Why? Because, like I said, imagine yesterday you're sitting at work, you just bought Tesla a couple of days ago, it's smooth sailing for right now, it's going up, and then boom, they're investigated by the DOJ and the stock drops. Now, that could have happened to any stock, right? But again, these are random events that you can't always account for, so that's why having stop losses in place are good and important. But if you didn't, you would have gotten crushed yesterday if you bought anywhere near the 300 resistance. Okay, this is why exactly I said Tesla is not a safe investment. It's just too speculative, too much news, too much things surrounding it. Okay, it's never good to be in the news that much. If you look at the stock Tesla and you look at their news, their PR wire, they are in the news with a new report every single day. That's not good. Okay, so the real question is what's going to happen with Tesla today. Honestly, Tesla investors and buyers are super optimistic on the stock, and even every time it drops significantly, it always gets bought back up. So I would initially watch Tesla for a short today and then watch it for a bounce. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be watching it initially. I'm not going to short it. I don't have shares of short on my platform. So I'm just going to be sitting back watching it as it probably tanks again. And then I'm going to be looking for a bounce at the bottom. So if I had to project a bounce spot, it's probably going to be, well, there might be one at 275 because that was yesterday's low. So I would say watch for a potential bounce at 275, but I think that's even going to break. So I'd probably be a little bit more optimistic on the idea that we'll probably see a bounce around 273 or 270. I think 270, 273 is a more respectable area to watch for a bounce on Tesla. But again, the news is strong, so I'm not going to put all my eggs into thinking there's going to be a bounce. Again, I'm more so involved in Netflix today. That's going to be my baby today. So again, for me personally, Netflix is going to be like my number one on the day. I do believe we're going to have a strong push on it. And even if we don't, I've already made a killing on it. So at the end of the day, I've already crushed. I already crushed Netflix. I rode Netflix all day yesterday. Didn't sell anything. I'm still in Netflix. Haven't sold anything. So massive gains there. So I'm not going to be disappointed if it doesn't work out in my favor the way I want today. So again, Tesla, watch it go down. Look for a bounce today. Okay. That would be the way I would play Tesla today. All right. Next thing is Cron. So the reason Cron is on my watch list is simply because of TLRY. All right. TLRY is the big dog right now. It is the leading stock in the cannabis industry in consideration to gains or growth as far as stock price. TLRY has gone massive. All right. It is just going crazy. So all the other cannabis stocks are following suit. It's like a domino effect, right? You know, it's like fidget spinners, right? One kid bought a fidget spinner, then the next person's like, holy shit, a fidget spinner. I want one of those. The next kid's like, holy cow, look at this thing. It spins on your finger. It's like, dude, all it is a bearing and a piece of plastic. And the fidget spinners went wild, right? So the same thing's kind of happening with TLRY. It's a domino effect. Cron and CGC, we're not going to get too into CGC. CGC is actually legitimate. TLRY is a joke. Okay, so Cron is picking up today. There might be some news, but it's literally because the stock TLRY is in a bubble and it's going straight up. And most people that are trading it, they know it's high. We'll get into TLRY in a second, but the reason Cron is performing well here pre-market is because of TLRY, okay? TLRY is booming, which is causing a domino effect and a sympathy play to stocks like Cron. So I do think Cron could be a good thing to trade today because it's at, you know, in relation to TLRY, Cron is a safer investment. That's why. Because right now, Cron is, you know, I mean, it's at a price that if you trade it, you're not going to get annihilated if it goes against you. I mean, you will if you take too much size. So I think Cron would be a good one to watch just because the stock TLRY is performing pretty well. All right. So if you look at a 180-day chart, you'll see Cron's right up at resistance. So there is the idea that right now Cron's at a really big resistance. But again, there's also been a lot of people that shorted Cron around here, and they might have still been holding, and they could run into a short squeeze today. You know, if TLRY booms like crazy today, I'm pretty sure Cron's going to boom, right? So I'll probably trade Cron. I will trade Cron over TLRY for sure, right? The spread on TLRY alone is ridiculous. So we'll just, that's it, right? That's it with Cron. Now we're going to go talk about TLRY and why I'm going to tell everybody you should not invest in TLRY or trade it. Well, I don't say you could probably trade it, but even then, let me put it this way. I'm not even trading it, right? You guys have seen me take $100,000, $200,000 positions or whatnot, and I'm not even trading it. Okay. What does that say? Right? I'm a pretty damn good trader, I'd like to think. Sometimes I make mistakes, but seriously, I'm not going to trade it. I don't know why most other people would. Unless you're already in it, you should not be getting into it, right? If you're in it, fine. If you're not, I would definitely not mess with it, okay? So let's talk about TLRY now. So we're going to go and look at this bad boy. And then before I do that, hold on one second. I gotta pull something up here before we talk about TLRY. What I'm gonna show you, I'm actually gonna go on Google here real second. Give me just a few seconds here. I gotta pull something up. Hold on. Jeez. All right, so this is what we call, I don't want to say this is what we call, but I'm going to just pull this over onto the screen. So right now we're going to look at Google, right? This is super simple. It's Google Pictures. It literally took me 10 seconds, right? Ready? Here we go. That's a chart of a bubble right here, what you're looking at. Let me change this over, right? So this is what a stock chart of a bubble looks like, okay? That's one. Let's go look at a different one. Oh, there's a stock chart of what we call a bubble. That was Bitcoin, okay? What other ones we got? Oh, here's a couple stock charts of bubbles, right? These are all bubbles, okay? Let's continue down. Come on. Where's a good one? Where's another good one? All right? So the idea here is this. This is what a bubble looks like right there. You see that? It's a picture of a hockey stick. When a stock chart looks like a hockey stick, we call it the hockey stick chart pattern or the hockey stick pattern. And they are always, no ifs, no ands, no buts, they are always a bubble. That's it. If your chart looks like a hockey stick, it is a bubble. Can you guys see where I'm going with this next? Yeah, you probably guessed it. TLRY is a picture perfect hockey stick. It is, yes, in fact, a bubble. And anybody who thinks otherwise probably doesn't know what a bubble looks like. Or they're already trading it and they're so high. When I say high, I mean they're literally on a euphoric high. What happens when you drink alcohol? What happens when you consume marijuana, weed, anything that actually impairs decision making? You can no longer clearly make as concise or correct decisions as you would normally if you were essentially sober. That is why it is so hard for people to believe that stocks or Bitcoin are bubbles when they are the ones trading or currently invested in them. It's because they are currently on a euphoric high and they're too theoretically impaired to make a concise and correct decisions. And they can't fathom the idea that they're in a bubble. They're making so much money, which is good, but they don't realize it that they're in a bubble, or they find it hard to believe when someone like me tells you that you're in a bubble. And they go, no, you don't know what you're talking about. The news is strong. Cannabis industry is huge. Without a doubt, you're 100% correct. But the current price of the investment you're in does not correctly justify. The price action does not justify it in any way, shape, or form. All right, so now let's go into actually looking at TLRY here. Ready? So look at this, all right? Now that we've covered that it's a bubble, want me to show you why? Okay, this is a 180-day 4-hour chart. Does it kind of look like a hockey stick? Okay, so if you're looking from down here, you could say that doesn't normally look like a hockey stick. Okay, but if you look from just right here, you would definitely say that's a hockey stick. Okay, if you go on a 1-year chart, it's more evident that it's a hockey stick and it's a bubble. Oh, that's not it. Hold on one second. A 1-year chart. That is for sure, without a doubt, 100% a hockey stick. Ready? That is what we call the hockey stick. And that, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, is a freaking bubble. And that's the reason why I didn't trade it this whole time. I traded a few times when it was lower, but other than that, I stayed away from it because I knew it was. So now you might be asking me, well, Connor, how did TLRY get up there so big? You want to know how it got so high priced, so high fast? You want to know? Well, for one, it's cannabis. It's the most talked about, most hyped up, industry that's like coming abroad, right? Coming forth. Secondly, there's always news. Everybody knows marijuana. Everybody knows weed. So, everybody is, put it this way. I don't remember what the statistic is, but it was like more than like 80% of people, like in the world or in America have at least tried marijuana at some point. So theoretically, like 80% of the population knows of marijuana, and they all know that it's a huge market. There's no question about it. Everybody knows of it, right? When you think of a new company like Nightscope, does anybody know what Nightscope is? Has anybody heard what the company Nightscope does? No? But everybody knows what marijuana is. So it adds this additional knowledge base. More people think they know about marijuana than they really do because you see it in movies. Most people have tried it at least once in their life. Most people have been to a party where it's been used. Most people now know about it for medical use. People know about it for cancer patients. People have friends that grow it. People have friends that consistently use it that are 40, 50, 60, 70, maybe even 80 years old till this day. It is a very commonly well-known product. But when I tell you something about the company Nightscope, you're going to have no clue. Okay, Nightscope is soon to be a recent IPO that has robotic little things that are going to maneuver around cities and malls and businesses. and they're going to be a robotic security system that helps the real life security guards. But nobody knows anything about that because it's just not big enough. Marijuana didn't have to become big. It already was big. So again, there's this crazy hype and momentum that's been driven into this market, right? So that's why things have pushed the way they have. The reason TLRY is up as big as it is because it's a 17 million share float company. There is extremely low supply with an amount of extremely high demand. This thing is a very unliquid stock. There is liquidity issues right now. Okay, everyone's like, oh, look at TLRY, it's booming. It's because the news. Sure, the news plays an effect, but the real reason you wake up every morning and the thing is gapping up $20, $30 a share is because it has liquidity issues. There's not enough shares to go around for the amount of people that want to buy. So the price needs to therefore get jacked up and jacked up and jacked up. Again, I always use the example of like water in a crisis, right? Like hurricane, what is it? Hurricane Florence? Is that the one going on now, right now? Right? So think about this hurricane. All the stores, right? They're probably running out of water, right? If it weren't looked at as a really, unhumane thing to do, store owners would jack the price up of water because everybody needs it when there's going to be a low supply, right? And that is why the price is getting jacked up so high. It has liquidity issues. So if it has liquidity issues, let me put it in reverse play for you. If there's liquidity issues right now and this thing starts to crash, nobody's going to want to buy it. And there's going to be only sellers. And if there's liquidity issues, who in the hell are they going to sell it to? There's nobody that's going to be wanting to buy it as it's coming crashing down. So all the people that need to now get out are going to have to jump all the sellers, and they're going to cause a crash because the buyers will flee and there's only going to be sellers, and it already has liquidity issues. It is going to be a ridiculously fast drop. It's going to lose value very quickly. It's a fact. Okay, and so for anybody who doesn't believe it, you haven't been trading long enough, you are not educated enough, and that is my job to educate you guys. Okay, not saying there's not money to be made, there is money to be made. Okay, but as traders and as investors, what is the number one most important thing we look at before we take trades or even consider investing? We look at the risk over the reward. We do not look at reward over risk. If you look at reward over risk, you will in turn usually get your ass crushed, okay? So you look at risk over reward. Right now, the risk is far greater than reward. So yes, when people ask me and tell me, you're not buying TLRY, or you're an idiot, or you're stupid, or you're just mad that you missed out on the gains, I'm really not. Because now I'm currently up close to $28,000 in profit for the month of September. So when you're talking about me losing out on gains, I don't think I've lost out on gains. I actually consider I've made gains, okay? So I'm not mad. I'm not sad. Why? Because I know the risk is greater than the reward. And I am smart enough to just not take that risk. A lot of people have made money, and that's great, but there's always a time and place to get out, and you have to understand when it's a good time, and right now is a good time. There's never a better time, all right? There's never a better time to lock in profits. It's always a great idea, okay? So again, TLRY is a bubble, all right? And I'm going to take a few more minutes on TLRY and show you guys a couple other things. All right, so as we know, it's a bubble for sure. I'm going to go to this 180-day chart. If TLRY were to follow any sort of technical analysis based on a Fibonacci retracement, you guys want to see how far this thing's going to pull back? It's going to blow your mind, right? So we're at $239. If this thing does any respectable pullback, it's coming down to either $132 or $107. I'm getting dizzy just thinking about it. Really, I am. I actually am a little dizzy. Hold on. So again, if it does any sort of respectable pullback, it's coming all the way down to like $132, $107. Why? Well, not that I'm guaranteeing it, but I'm saying if it did follow respectable, normal, everyday technical analysis based on highly accurate Fibonacci's, it would be pulling back to about $100. So another thing to think about here is, you remember when Bitcoin was a bubble and everything was booming, right? And everyone's like, oh man, you're missing out on all these gains, man. You know, it's going forever. You know, think about it. You tell that. You know, when someone says, oh, you're missing out on the gains, how about you tell that to the investor that bought Bitcoin at $20,000? I bet he will tell you that he was missing out on no gains, and he wish he never made that decision. Why? Because it's too freaking late. The train left the station, it's gone, and now you're just playing a game of super high risk and stupidity, okay? This thing is going to crash, and it will be awesome, okay? Because I'll basically get to say that I was right to everybody that told me I was an idiot. I had multiple people tell me I'm an idiot, and that's fine. Okay, whatever. Don't listen to me. Who cares, right? So what am I going to do? Well, for one, when I can confirm that we're going to crash, you know, I don't know when, but when I can, I'm going to be buying options short on it. And then when it fully dumps down, what I'm going to do is take a large position. You don't have to take a large position. I am, because I do see this as a potential bread and butter winner. So I will be taking a position long when it fully crashes. When this thing dumps, hopefully down to $140 or $107, the 50 or the 61.8% retracement level on the Fibonacci's, I will be taking a long play, anticipating a $30 to $50 or $60 bounce. And I will be taking a big position, anticipating we're going to have a massive bounce and a squeeze off this drop. It normally happens with any crash normally results in a fast drop followed by a very big bounce and then a crash, right? So it doesn't just crash straight down. What happens is it drops aggressively. It bounces very hard. People are like, oh, this is a great time to buy back in. Wrong. You're just buying the dead cat bounce, soon to be crushed again. So again, it will drop. It will most likely have a big bounce, and then it will peak out again, and then it's done for, okay? Mark my words. That is what's going on with TLRY. So my advice to you guys is to stay the hell away from TLRY. Most of you guys and a lot of people are newer traders and investors. This is probably the worst thing you could be trading right now, okay? With that being said, that's all I have for you guys. So I didn't get to read like any messages today because I was just way too on the ball and on the roll with TLRY. So I want to take just like another couple minutes here. What did you guys think about that right there? So tell me, what is your honest opinion? I'm going to read them. We won't have time to answer all the questions, but what do you guys think about that? Is it informative? Does it help you? Does it help you guys make a clear decision? Okay, coming from someone who's experienced to maybe some people that are not so experienced. What do you guys think about TLRY after all of that? Oh, for sure I'm triggered. Because people tell me I'm an idiot. It's like, it's like how... It's one of those moments where you're like, you're so right that, I don't know, you know? Good stuff, guys. So again, I don't follow the hype. One thing that I'm extremely well at is going against the grain. Whenever somebody's doing this, I'm usually doing the opposite. Okay? All right? So, and that's just like the stock market. You know, I'm not going to tell you guys all the stock market's crashing like TLRY, but I will tell you. All right? I will tell you. There's a lot of indicators that point the market strong, and there's a lot of indicators that point the market's going to correct, okay? And secondly, you know, we never know exactly when, but I'm always preparing. Most people think it's going to keep going, whereas the least amount of people think it's going to go down. And then there's the saying, be fearful when others are greedy. Right now, everybody is greedy as hell in the stock market. Why? Because there's more people trading the market than ever before. So again, I'm very fearful right now of the stock market while others are greedy. Okay? Just note, I know we won't go on to that whole discussion. That's for another date and time. But as always, thank you guys once again for joining into the pre-market live stream. Please do give me a thumbs up before you head out the door. Stay away from TLRY today. It's not going to be your friend for the most part. And I will see you guys all tomorrow morning, and hopefully for a recap video today. Just if I close out my positions, then I'll do a recap video. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys once again for tuning in. It is always awesome. And as always, please, please, please stay green.